Hey guys, it's Laura here at Art Zone. Today we're going to talk about how to create a clay frog. Here's a good example of one. Does yours have to look just like this one? Absolutely not. There's all kinds of different ways to do this, and we're going to kind of go over some of that in this video. Just so you know though, once we create the body, you can really just about create any animal from that shape that you want to. So if you change your mind and you want to do a monkey, you can do a monkey. You could do the cow. Again, they come from that same pinch pot body that you'll learn. And there's a good example of a pig. So you can get creative and think outside of the box and make something else other than a frog if you'd like to. But in this video, we are going to talk about the frog, and it will talk about how to attach the different pieces together so that they don't fall off in the kiln. And then we'll briefly talk about how to glaze it so you get a good full coverage. All right, so first things first, for making the frog, you're going to need your clay. You're going to need your skewer that we sent you, water, a towel, and then your glaze, that whatever glaze you're going to use, because we'll get there too. Okay. The first thing you're going to do though is you're going to take that clay ball, you're going to twist it and pull it apart into two pieces. Now you need to determine which of these two pieces is bigger and set that to the side. I'm going to go with this one is my littler one. So that's the one that I want to turn back into a ball. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm actually just going to tear it apart again. And then I have two more pieces. This time, whichever one is smaller, that's the one I want to set to the side. We'll come back to those two balls later, okay? So now let's turn this one back into a ball. It works best to keep that clay out of your fingertips, because if you get your fingertips in there, it gets really hard to get a good ball shape. So roll it around in the palms of your hands. Really use the palms of your hands. Now, once you get the ball, again, it doesn't have to necessarily be a perfect ball, but once you get that ball, take your thumb, you're going to stick it in there so you have a fat thumb. Also, if I'm going too fast for you, please pause it, catch up, and then unpause it and continue on. No worries. Okay, so we got our fat thumb. We're going to make a pinch pot. So we're going to take that ball of clay and our thumb that's in it. We're just going to rest it in our other hand. Stick out two fingers. Take those fingers and just kind of squish it back and forth all the way around. So you're just kind of rolling it around in there, squishing it, making a bowl. Eventually, you'll be able to take two fingers in there and you'll keep squishing it out to where you have a good body, right? And it's a bowl. All right. So once you get that, then you're going to take it. If you have creases in it like that, you can smooth that out with your finger. You can even add just a tiny bit of water and it will help smooth it out. You don't want to use a lot of water, okay? Just a little bit is all you need there. All right, so we have our body. We can tap that on the table to give it kind of a flat surface. That way it'll set better on the table whenever you get it back. You'll be able to display your frog better, okay? So we've created our body. We can now take that and set that to the side, and we want to grab our smaller piece of clay, and we are going to turn it back into a ball. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did, where we put our thumb in there and then we pinched it out. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take our thumb, stick it in there, twist and push till we have that big thumb again, and then we're going to pinch it out. We're pinching it out. I'm trying to do this a little faster so that way this video is not like 6 hours long, because I have a tendency to want to talk and make it 6 hours long, but nobody's got time for that. All right, so we've got our other bowl. The difference with this one is instead of tapping it on the table where the bottom hits it, we want to do it on the side so that it's a mouth, right? So we're going to take it and tap it on the table that way. So that way we've got a mouth. So here comes that important part. Again, you can add water on, a little bit of water on there to smooth out any of those creases and get rid of any of that stuff if you want to. Okay, so the important part. How do I attach the head to the body so that it doesn't fall off, right? There's a trick. Here at Art Zone, we like to call it, some of you probably know, scratch to attach. Slip and score, you'll hear that other places. We think it's easy to remember it by scratch to attach, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find our bamboo skewer and we're gonna scratch up the bottom of our head. You just wanna make it nice and messy, a bunch of little hashtag marks or something fun like that. Nice and messy. Then we find our body and we're gonna do the same thing. Wherever we're going to attach it, we want to make those same scratch marks. So the scratches act like a puzzle locking it together. And then if we add a little bit of water, just a tiny bit on our finger, and we just tap it to both parts, that water actually acts like glue and is gonna stick it together. And you just kind of rock it back and forth. Now, for me, I always like to go back and kind of reinforce it. So I'll take just a little tiny bit of that clay there and kind of push down and kind of take a little bit of that line away so that I know for sure that it's going to stay together. All right. So we have our body. Now's a really good time to pause, flip it upside down, get that skewer again, and let's write our name on the inside. I'm gonna put an L for Lara and an R for my last name, which is Rush. So I put LR in there. That way, whenever you guys come back to pick it up, it'll be a little bit easier to find yours, okay? Okay, so now we've got our body of our frog. So we can set that to the side. Now let's talk about legs. Legs are tricky only because they're the easiest part to break. So, and the longer you work with your clay, the more likely it is that it's gonna break. So if it starts to dry out on you, you can just take some water again and just rub it on there and it'll bring it back to life for you. For the leg, I like to just roll out a little snake and then kind of bend it to give it that frog leg kind of shape, right? Then I'm going to attach it on there. How do I attach it? Scratch to attach, that's right. So we're gonna go ahead and get our tool and we're gonna scratch it up. We're gonna scratch up where it goes. And again, we're gonna add that water to both parts, right? Just like so. And then we're gonna blend it in there. I like to go one step further with my legs, and I like to make the little feet as well. So I'll kind of smash that down and I'll use that tool and I'll make little webbed looking feet. So I'll just give it some little lines, give it a little more character, bring it to life a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side. So we've got that done. Now, frogs don't have just one leg, they have more, right? So we're gonna make 4 more of those and we're gonna get those all attached on there like so. Then we are ready to make some eyeballs. And eyeballs, I just like to roll in a circle and then we'll attach them on there. I like to give them a little place to rest. So I'll push in with my thumbs to give them kind of like that eyeball socket there. And then that way they have a little place to rest, right? Again, scratch to attach. Now there's 2 ways to make your pupils, right? So you can take your tool and push into your eyeball to give it more of a depth there. Or this person added extra clay to theirs to make it stand out a little bit more. So you can go back and forth with that. Again, you'll scratch to attach it, put it on there, okay? Make your 2 eyes. Go ahead and do that now. And then once you get that done, from here, it's really about what else do you want to do to your frog. So here's my finished one for today. As you can see, I've added various things. I put a tongue in mine. I gave him a belly. And then I also made a little fly that I'm going to attach to him on his tongue. So it's just resting on his tongue. You can get creative and you can make a bow maybe that you want to put on your frog somehow. You can do different things. This person made the arms touch their face. So you can do different things. This is the part where you get to get creative and decide what all you want to add to your frog and how you want to do it. Or if you're doing, again, you know, maybe you're doing a monkey, you want to add the tail and ears and stuff like that. Again, a cow, you know, there's all kinds of different animals that you can do. So you can choose those things too. So once you get it all put together like that, then you're ready to glaze it. Glazing. Here's some important facts about this glaze. Glaze is called glaze because there's little pieces of sand in it. So whenever it cooks in my kiln, it comes back and it'll be really, really shiny. So that's why we use glaze and not paint. When we glaze, we just want to take our brush. We want to use a lot, right? And whenever you're using a lot of glaze, you should not see the gray clay anymore where you're glazing at, okay? So you want to use a lot on there. The other thing is the more you use, the better it's going to turn out. So like this person, they probably could have used a little bit more because you can see the white coming through because your clay actually turns white in the kiln. And so this person, you can kind of see if they would have put one more coat on there, there would have been a lot shinier like the monkey. The monkey's pretty shiny. Whenever you glaze, you can glaze the whole thing except this very bottom rim here and the bottom of the feet and the inside of the bowl. Because if you paint that part, then there's nowhere for the moisture in the clay to escape in the kiln, and then your frog will blow up and that'll be really sad. So make sure you don't paint the bottom, but you can paint the rest of it. Okay, guys? So have fun, glaze away. Thanks.